The Supreme Court has wrapped up for this particular term, and Ketanji Brown Jackson said some unkind and uncharitable things, politically speaking, in which Justice Amy Coney Barrett, quote unquote, clapped back, if we're going to use the terms that the kids use nowadays. There's a cat fight in SCOTUS. Let's bring our panel back. Stephanie Hamill, William Donahue. Guys, I think this is really interesting. Ketanji Brown Jackson used some really politically divisive terminology that we haven't seen out of the court in a really long time. She said that it's a profoundly dangerous, unchecked, arbitrary power, existential threat, all terms that she used. And in the outgoing, Amy Coney Barrett, again, clapped back. I don't like using these terms, but I feel like to stay hip and relevant, I kind of have to. I thought this was really funny. She said, yeah, we will not dwell on Justice Jackson's arguments, which are at odds with mostly 2 centuries worth of precedent, not to mention the Constitution itself, kind of rolling her eyes going, yeah, the crazy one over there is going to continue being crazy. Stephanie, you know, considering the fact that Ketanji Brown Jackson probably most likely the biggest DEI hire in all of government is going to continue to be that, how much attention should we pay to her? Or should we just continue mocking her or even let the Supreme Court themselves mock her?
I just want to clarify, Joe Bob, you're not even being mean. This is former President Joe Biden said it himself. He says, I'm going to nominate a Black woman to the Supreme Court. So he's not going to nominate the best person or the person who's most fit for the job, the person who's most loyal to the Constitution. He's going to hire somebody solely on their skin color, which is despicable. That's racist. That's actual racism. So now fast forward to where we are today. Of course, she's going to do what she's doing. And the media is eating up every second of it. Like, they're waiting for her to come up with all these lines. So they have all these headlines about what a badass she is and, you know, what a great constitutional scholar. And this recent scuffle between the two was in regards to the birthright citizenship and also having to do with the lower courts. And as you know, the lower courts have been hammering the Trump administration over everything. That is a constitutional crisis. The American people voted in Donald Trump and his agenda, and these lower courts are preventing him from going through with it smoothly. So again, she was completely wrong. It is so on brand for her. There's a reason that she was picked, is because she's a sycophant to the left that they can control.
You know, as a Black woman myself, I was kind of upset that I didn't get the call to be nominated to the Supreme Court, but I guess next time around, I'll throw my hat in the ring. William, you know, as a law guy, you know, where do you see this kind of scuffle in the scope of just more recent Supreme Court kind of relationships? How does this kind of fit in?
It was a total masterclass from Justice Barrett. You know, there's a common jurisprudence assigned in law school called the case of the Spelunkian explorers. And there's this line about judges flapping their robes and soaring off into a void of an uncharted future on wings of judicial rhetoric. And that's basically Justice Jackson's whole philosophy. Not only has she written more opinions as the freshman justice than anybody in history, but she just won't stop talking. In her dissent, she literally says she skips over the governing statute because it's full of boring legalese. I mean, same girl who wants to read statutes. I don't. But when you can just vibe your way through the constitutional questions, like it's open mic night at the Supreme Court, I mean, come on. Meanwhile, Barrett calmly shows up with a statutory scalpel and torches her. Barrett quotes Jackson with her own words, like, you think legal analysis is boring? That's literally the job. It's not even legal opinion. It's legal cinema. Barrett didn't just disagree. She hit her with a robe wrap reality check. I mean, everyone from the president on down is bound by the law. Translation, even you, Ketanji, no matter how passionate your podcast length dissents are, must be bound by the law. It was beautiful.
I'm curious to see if Ketanji will recuse herself in Gorsuch v. Vibe, because obviously she's running on the vibes.